Good afternoon, everyone. It's 4 o'clock, so we're going to get started. My name is Michael Ziegler. For those of you that aren't familiar with me or I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with, I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships here at AAA Northeast, and I work alongside my colleague, Brooke Vergona, in helping all of our destinations all over the world work more closely with AAA Northeast to be successful. I'm super excited to have everybody here this afternoon because today our discussion is to provide some insight into the marketing trends that we're seeing here at AAA Northeast, and also provide insight on how we're adjusting to some of those trends that we're seeing. I'm going to be moderating the conversation with a panel of people, but before we get going, we want to talk about this new landscape and the importance of partnerships as we forge ahead. We've titled this conversation "A Trust in Transition" because we know now more than ever it's going to take trust from our partners to trust us that we will work together with you through the recovery, to be nimble, to be agile, collaborative, but it's also going to take our ability to trust you to know that your destinations will be safe for our travelers, to teach them, how to be safe, also to welcome them as locals. We're excited about working with all of you, and just as a reminder, this discussion is being recorded, and we'll be following up after with a link to the discussion. So if you do want to revisit our talk, you're able to do so, but you're also able to share that discussion with your colleagues who might not have been able to attend today. I'll also be sending through a comprehensive deck following this conversation with further details, which will help you to look at more in depth at what we discussed today, and also help you with your own internal planning for 2021. In the coming days, I'll be reaching out also to set up individual meetings with you one-on-one to hopefully talk about ways that AAA Northeast might be a part of that partnership planning in 2021, and ways that we can work together to make it more successful in the recovery. Lastly, before I throw it over to our Vice President of Travel, Cindy, to get us started, I wanted to just mention that today's format is a discussion meant to be interactive. So while we do have questions for our panel pre-selected, we want you to take advantage of the ability to be a part of our conversation today by clicking on the question box that's in your navigation pane that has a little question mark on it, and ask your questions. If we have time, I'd love to go over some of those questions at the end, but if not, any questions that we can't get to, we're going to be sure to answer and follow up emails. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to our fearless leader, our Vice President of Travel, Cindy Zesk, to say a few words and get us started. Cindy, they're all yours.
Thank you, Mike. And good afternoon to everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining us. We have more than 30 registrants from destinations around the globe, including Europe, New Zealand, the Caribbean, Asia, South America. And I'm just so grateful that over 26 years in this industry, I've been very fortunate to visit almost all of your destinations. And I look forward to coming to those I haven't been to yet in the near future and coming back to those that I have visited. You all are part of such amazing and special locations in our world and a part of delivering such great experiences to our members. Thank you for that. And we look forward to working with you on the recovery, on our collective recovery. We call this session, as Mike said, Trust in Transition, and AAA, as you already know, has long been recognized as one of the world's most trusted brands. But now travelers really do need us more than ever, and they need you. They really need us working together to build their confidence back up and to help them begin to see the world again. The crisis has had a profound impact on our beloved industry. I don't need to tell you that. You are dealing with it every day, just like we are. But AAA is backed by a diverse and financially strong organization, and one that is fully committed to this industry and to you and to your destinations. In the Northeast, we have 6 million members, and across the United States, AAA has 61 million members. We have not laid off any of our teams. We have not ceased any operations, and we have not closed any of our branches permanently. We did have to shut down for a couple of months during the height of the pandemic. However, we have reopened all of our branches and our teams are working either from home, in the branch, or as a hybrid. I can assure you that we will be standing with you as we come out of this crisis and into a recovery together. For us at AAA, the last 6 months has been all about reacting and all about working to correct the massive disruption that COVID caused. We were trying to get people home to their families and home to one another. We were managing endless cancellations, processing refunds and travel credits, and hopefully replanning a lot of those trips. There are many of our members who had to cancel, who still are holding a future travel credit, and we look to book all of those well into 21 and 22. But at times in the height of all of that craziness, it felt like it would never end. But now I think we're beginning to see some positive sprouts of hope, I call them. The latest round of research tells us that health and financial concerns, while strong, have dipped to the lowest level since the pandemic started. There's less fear today than there was months ago. That's really hopeful. In September, TSA reported highest passenger count since March. And recently, 78% of Americans say they have at least tentative trip plans. A ready to travel mindset is at a pandemic period high. I'm really hopeful about that. And in fact, our own booking patterns at AAA Northeast are showing us some hope internally. They are picking up. We're seeing month over month growth. And Chuck Nardoza, our managing director of sales, will go into that a little bit more about where we're seeing them travel to and how far out. The windows are longer than they were previously, and that's something we all need to work together to, I don't know that we can shorten them, but we need to be there now when they're booking those destinations and those departures. So at AAA Northeast, we say, while a lot has been paused, a traveler's spirit cannot be canceled. The question, so, is how do we engage that sense of wanderlust? We know we have to build the confidence right now. We also have to inspire, and we have to provide a reason to book. So we are working with many destinations around the world, as well as many suppliers in our global network. And we've also created things like Smart Depart that our leader in our marketing team will tell you about a little bit later, as well as a travel resource center. We've also recently created a program called Out There, and is meant to showcase those of us in the industry and some of our own travelers who are walking the travel walk again and reporting back to others about what you can expect out there. During our downtime, we've also been reimagining what AAA travel can be, and we are reframing this narrative because we believe it can be a reawakening, not just a recovery for AAA and for travel in general. We're working with a lot of you guys and a lot of our suppliers to also create programs that offer more flexible booking terms, loosened cancellation policies, lower deposits. We need that right now. We have to do things differently, and we have to start doing it now. I love this industry. I've been in it 26 years, and there have been a lot of ups and downs throughout it. Lots of recessions and terrorism, SARS, natural disasters. If you've been in it as long as I have, you've seen those too. And what you know is that travel always leads with compassion. It's just what we do. And we stick together, even through the most trying of times. And we want you to know that AAA Northeast will stand together with you, the destinations who deliver dreams to so many of our members. And our hope is that we actually have a greater working and a closer working relationship with you as we move into the future. We do expect many more of our 6 million members to travel. We believe that there will be vacation revenge. We believe that there will be many more of AAA nationally's 61 million members traveling. And we think that they'll travel with more passion and they will do it more often. But we need to work together, and we need to start doing it now so that we are ready. We need to build our readiness so that it's as resilient as our spirit. Today, you'll hear from our product, service, sales, marketing teams about how we at AAA Northeast have reacted to the pandemic, how we've reinvented marketing, improved our processes, our technology, and our communications. We have doubled down on digital innovation, and that in service has been our main focus. I'm so proud of our team here at AAA Northeast Travel. They have worked in lockstep with one another and our partners. They've picked up, they persevered, and they've reimagined it all along the way. We are very ready to get going again. And while I don't have a crystal ball, I really wish I did, but I don't. What I know is that we are well poised to overcome this. We can't do it alone, though. We need partners like you. People in travel and the people who love to travel, we are a resilient breed. And through the darkest of times, we rediscover the best in each other. We're kind of like a family, and I like to say our DNA strands are those of curiosity and passion and purpose. But that's what I love about our industry. There's none other like it. It is truly a path to greater understanding of one another. And those of us who are lucky enough to work in this industry become more than colleagues. We become friends, and we become friends for many, many years, forever, in many cases. Many of us know each other personally, and we have been through a lot together. And for that, I am supremely confident we will emerge stronger together and more united if we can build this strategy to overcome the impact of COVID. I hope today is the start of a renewed commitment to one another. Thank you for joining us and for linking arms with us, because we really look at this as a battle. It is a fight. It's a fight for our right to travel again. And I'm super proud to have the team we have at AAA Northeast in this battle, as well as you. Thank you, Mike. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Cindy. And thank you so much for that insight and for setting the foundation for today's conversation that we're really excited to have. As I mentioned before in the beginning, this discussion is meant to help you with your own planning by sharing insights in the ways that AAA here in Northeast has really tried to work towards this recovery and show you some insights into our own planning and preparation, which is why we're excited to have a few members from our team with us to share their perspectives. These are the people that have kind of been on the front lines, doing the planning, setting the stage for our recovery that hopefully you can be a part of as well. Sitting with us today, you've already met Cindy. Thank you so much for your kind words again, Cindy. We also have Chuck Nardoza. Chuck is our Managing Director of Travel Sales. He runs our sales team of now over 200 agents, and will also be giving us some great insight from the sales perspective. He's spent his entire career with AAA Northeast, and he has some great insight in regards to how AAA is adjusting to this current issue with these current concerns, but also how we've reacted in the past. We also have Allison Villasenor with us. She's our Managing Director of Partnership and Product. She has worked in the travel industry her entire career as well. She's been with multiple of our partners on the vendor side, so she brings with her a lot of insight from multiple different travel perspectives on ways that our partnership marketing team can work more closely with our partners to experience more success. And then last but certainly not least is Chelsea San Martino. She's our Director of Marketing. She has spent her entire career in marketing in many different industries, and we are lucky that she has found her home here at AAA Northeast. But she's going to be providing some great insight into planning and messaging in this new travel landscape. Through this conversation, we're kind of hoping that you'll take the combined experience of my colleagues, and we hope that you provide you with a holistic and comprehensive look at what's happening, what's happened, where are we today, and what do we see as the future, so that we're laying the groundwork with you for success in the future. If there's anything that we've learned from 2021, is that it's going to take even more creativity, even more collaboration and innovation and transparency to bring back travel to not only where it once was, but to make it better than it ever was before. These strong partnerships that we currently have and the partnerships that we're forging now in this post-COVID recovery will be the key driving force for us and for our partners in the success that we'll build together. And we're excited to embark on this great journey with you. To get together today, we're going to look into answering some of the questions that Brooke and I probably talk about on a daily basis with our DMO partners. Questions like, when is the right time to start promoting your destination? What should my messaging look like when I start to promote my destination again? What should I say? How should I say it? How should my partnership portfolio change in 2021 from where it was in 2020 to make myself more ready for the future? And what will it take to be successful to start building towards the future again? As Cindy had mentioned, 78% of Americans have tentative travel plans on the books in the next 6 months. That's hopeful. Seeing the resurgence of members waiting to talk about travel and think about traveling again in the future is a great sign, and we should get excited about that. So let's talk with our team about ways we can take advantage of this early excitement and begin again to start planning for the future. I'd like to first start by handing it off to Allison. Allison, if you could give us a bit more tangible details. We have a lot of new partners on this call as well as existing partners, but if you could just give them an idea as to what kind of partner AAA is here in the Northeast, some of the numbers that we have, our footprint, and how we can help them reach the New England market and beyond.
Sure. Thanks, Mike. And thank all of you for being with us today. We really appreciate it. I know we have partners from multiple time zones spanning the globe, so thank you. If it's late for you and you might be coming to us from Europe, or you're enjoying your midday with us on the West Coast, thanks so much. I think it's important that we start by taking a look at the AAA Northeast footprint, just to get a tangible example of who we are. And many of you are familiar with AAA from your relationships, perhaps in the past. And AAA is a federation of clubs across the United States, and AAA Northeast is the 4th largest. So our club represents 6 states and spans the Northeast, due to our name, from New Jersey up to New Hampshire. And we support that coveted and high income corridor from New York City to Boston, which is a really powerful piece of our footprint. We have 5.8 million members, which Cindy mentioned earlier, and Providence, Rhode Island provides our home base to over 3,000 employees. We've got 68 branches within our footprint, which is fantastic, and we're really proud to say that those branches are open and serving members today. On a yearly basis, we service about 125 annual travelers, and we have a laser focus in growing that number. And part of what we've been doing during this COVID pause is shifting towards new innovations and new digital landscapes in order to create that conversation with more of our members and bring them over to the AAA travel landscape. And converting those DIYers or travelers that may have been booking through different channels in the past to come over to utilize the brand legacy and the trust and peace of mind that AAA brings to the table. I mentioned a little bit of that New York to Boston corridor, and average household income is a really defining factor of that part of the United States. If we look at our agency itself, we've got 250 travel advisors and a few call centers, one in upstate New York and one in Providence, Rhode Island. And one of the stats that we're most proud of is that we have a 90% agent retention rate, which is just so great. And it speaks to the relationships that our agents have with our members. It's also known here at AAA Northeast that once one of our members transacts with travel, they become a member for life, is what we love to say. So once they come back, that retention with their agent in order to facilitate future travel transactions is really, really high. And my colleague Chuck will go a little bit into our independent contractor model that we're diving into now as we come out of this new normal into our recovery mode.
Great, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of the numbers so our listeners can understand kind of who we are and where we're situated here in the Northeast. So beyond just the numbers, Allison, let's talk a little bit about partnerships. AAA has spent a lot of this time in the last 4 months or so really preparing for this recovery. Can you talk a little bit about how we at AAA are working to be a stronger partner and what our viewers and listeners should look for in stronger partnerships in 2021?
Yeah, of course. That's a great question. One of the things that we've shifted focus on is the increase in measurement and ROI with everything that we do. We understand that our ability to spend as an agency and your ability to invest as a DMO may have changed in the last 6 months to a year. And we understand that we need to be nimble and really creative in our approach moving forward. So this pause has allowed us to dig into that and create new systems and processes internally that allow us to report back to our partners in a really meaningful way. I mentioned just a few minutes ago that we've pivoted a bit into the digital space, which is really great, and it's the push that we needed to embrace new technology. Our agents are all outfitted with laptops, which is really powerful for us in terms of being accessible to our members. And also, we're continuing to grow our relationships, both with our vendor partners, with our DMO partners, with lifestyle brands, in order to ramp up our recovery efforts in 2021.
Thanks so much, Allison. And speaking of recovery efforts, I just want to bring Chelsea in here for a minute to give us a better sense of, what have we learned at AAA Northeast regarding the messaging and how that messaging has evolved over the past few months. We started with a lot of talk in regards to inspiration and talking about we're here for you. And now we've started to talk more about inspiring travel and getting travelers excited about travel again. And Chelsea, it's still a little bit of a delicate dance, right? We want to make sure that we're inspiring people to travel, but we also realize that there are many out there that are hesitant to travel. So how do we balance that hesitation to travel with also inspiring those that are ready to start traveling today? And how is our message transferred from the beginning of this pandemic to where we are today?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, great question and great points there. So in our own recovery efforts over the past few months at AAA, we've been continuously evolving our messaging to suit the sentiment and the tone of what's going on around us. So as you've all have heard, we have a dedicated membership of nearly 6 million people. So our first priority above all else was to ensure we were sending them the right message. It initially evolved from a message of support and encouragement, letting our members know we were here for them, then migrated to a message of resiliency and hopefulness that when the world is ready to travel again, we'll be ready to answer the call. And now it's really about communicating a message of trust and safety, because while there's still a lot of uncertainty in the world and in the industry, people are excited to travel again. They may not be able to go right now, but they're deep in the consideration phase. And that message of trust is going to give people the confidence they need to get back out there. So encouragement, confidence, and having someone like a travel agent in their corner is going to give people the permission they're looking for to travel again. And that messaging evolution is not just for show, it's a core pillar of our brand promise that we're here to take care of our members. And while that message of confidence and preparedness is important to incorporate across all of our messaging, where it can really move the needle is through a travel agent and agency relationship. It's our advisors that have the ears of our travelers and are able to deliver that message of support right to the source.
Thanks so much, Chelsea. And you mentioned trust and safety. I think I talk about safety and destinations almost every day with our DMO partners and what they're doing to keep their travelers safe post-pandemic. Keep them safe from the COVID pandemic is something that we talk about every day, and that messaging comes very powerfully through our agent team, which is led by Chuck. And so, Chuck, I want to bring you in here real quick. Alongside our internal recovery efforts and our content messaging, I'd love to have you give our DMO partners what we're kind of seeing on the transaction side, on a numerical sense of our optimism. I know we here at AAA Northeast are an optimistic bunch. We always try and find that ray of sunshine in the dark. But what are we seeing kind of on the booking trends, booking windows, destinations that are coming back that gives us that optimism? And how does that kind of relate to the potential that we might see in 2021 coming for some of the destinations on the call today?
Thanks, Mike. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to meet with us today as we all work together to travel forward. So as you've heard, we're moving in the right direction. Our weekly sales are measured in millions once again. Each month we are growing by double digits over the prior month, and we're increasing our overall sales percentage of 2019 each month, averaging about 50 to 60% of prior year. As a matter of fact, in the last month, we've had 3 of our strongest weeks since the pandemic occurred. 1 week in August where we actually surpassed last year's sales numbers. Most importantly, right now, 80% of our sales are departing in 2021. So now is the time to get in front of our members. As a matter of fact, we're seeing millions of dollars in sales departing in 22 as well. So we can't stress enough, if you want to impact 21 sales and 22 sales, now is the time to get in front of our advisors and our members. Over the summer, we had a lot of sales in our backyard, but I'm happy to report that we're selling the world again. We started off slow, but as of last month, Europe has moved back into the #1 booking spot. And some of that is driven by a heavy amount of river cruise rebookings. So it's a great opportunity for us to work together to add on those pre and post nights so members can stay longer in the destination. The top land destinations right now are Ireland, Iceland, London, and Italy. And our top departure quarters for those destinations is Q3 in 2021, followed by Q2 of 21 and Q4. Outside of Europe, Caribbean and Mexico are hot spots for us. The majority are departing in 21. However, we are seeing some members come in for those last minute bookings to places like the Dominican Republic, Aruba, Mexico, Jamaica. The booking window for those destinations, again, heavy into 21, but we are seeing Q1, and also some folks are looking for Q4 of 2020. So that's the one spot we are seeing where people are looking, where the booking window is actually shorter than what it normally would be. Our managers and agents are focused on staying connected with our members so that those with the future travel credits and those that took refunds are our hottest leads, and we're ready to get them back on the road again. We're sharing templated emails with them, scripted messages for phone calls, and getting and setting them up with ready to go social posts.
Awesome, Chuck. Thank you so much for that data. I know that a lot of our partners, I know Germany and Austria here, your notes about river cruising is so important to them. And then you mentioned Britain, London. I know they're on the call as well. So one of the things that really helps us to paint a better picture of and reiterate is the fact that through these challenging times, although they're still challenging in many cases, we can still be planning and laying that groundwork in a nimble way. So that way we're ahead of the curve when things start to rebound. We're already seeing signs of the rebound. Those of you that are hesitant to necessarily book or market outside of your own domestic areas and not market internationally, there's opportunity, and you can see that there is a rebound happening. That first wave of travelers is happening now, and they're eager to get their travel plans booked. Although they might not be traveling, before the end of the year, they're already looking at 2021 Q3 and Q4, and those that move the fastest will be the ones that reap the rewards of those first movers. That old saying that says, "He who hesitates is lost," could not be more true in this instance. And that's why we're working here at AAA to plan for the future as much as we can. So much so that we want to back our partnerships and our partners the way that they back us. And obviously this year's planning is going to look a little different, or maybe a lot different than previous years, but it would be great to give you a sense of what our partners should bear in mind. So with that in mind, I'm going to throw it to Allison, and it'd be great if you could just share some insights as we enter the process of planning 2021 and looking at campaign development. What should our partners be looking for as they start their own planning, not only with AAA Northeast, but with other partners that they might be working with in the future?
Sure, thanks, Mike. And one other thing, just to add to Chuck's notes about future travel plans being booked, those of us who've been in the industry a while know that so much of the happiness of travel takes place pre-trip and in the ideas and the dreaming stage before you get there. So we're really thankful that our members are taking that approach to get booked now while great deals are available, and feeling like they've earned it, right? We've all been through so much, so get some great vacations on the books and look forward to the future. But as far as plans go for 2021 and building partnerships and looking forward to the recovery landscape, I'd like all of our partners to know that we get it at AAA Northeast. We understand what a tough time this has been, financially, personally, technologically, etc. So much of what we do every day has had to shift in some way, shape, or form. Some of us became professional school teachers. Some of us have been chained to a home office, whereas we typically spend $200 or $250 a year away and out on the road. So we definitely get that this is an interesting time, and we'd like you to know that our team is really poised to stand in that space of creativity and collaboration and work with you to ensure that we reach whatever combined goals we set forth with whatever limited funds or limited staffing we may have together, to build on top of what we can do digitally through our agent base and with our team at large to make sure that we make the most of your campaign and your plan.
Thank you so much, Allison, and I couldn't agree more. I know that a lot of the DMOs that I've kind of spoken to, they're always worried about, if we plan now, what will the future look like? How do we know what's going to happen? And a lot of that comes from creativity and innovation and being prepared for the future, and making sure that we prioritize those things to make sure that we can persevere. So in terms of speaking of innovation, I'd love to have, Chelsea, if you could jump in here. Allison mentioned, campaigns and ways that we're trying to be more nimble and work more closely with our partners in these ever-changing times. But during this pause, Cindy had mentioned we were able to keep all of our staff. So instead of us worrying about cutting costs and trying to withstand the storm, we've actually been spending time innovating with new elements and new things that are happening. I mean, we have so many, from Smart Depart to the Social Collective. We've added some great new tools for our partners to take advantage of. Could you just kind of take some time to talk about some of the marketing innovations that we have been doing with everyone? Talk about how they kind of come together in a very organic way to ensure that our partners can see that lead to close life cycle one step at a time.
Yeah, sure thing, Mike. Thanks. It's been a really engaging past couple of months from the marketing side. I mean, it's been kind of a playground of sorts to be able to innovate and explore and experiment and find new ways to continue to innovate and adjust our tactical approach to adhere to a changing market. So what we've really been focused on over the last few months is optimizing our digital experience for our members. And our recovery concept in general has been under this umbrella of what we've been calling next. So what's next for our travelers, our agents, what's next in marketing and product and training. And that's really the idea that's helped us weave together our new engagement ecosystem and how we're evolving the way our members learn about and buy travel from us. The primary program we've developed is what we've named the Travel Center, and this is a dedicated AAA travel controlled website with safety, product, and up-to-date travel information for members and for our agents to use as a resource. So it's our answer to being more agile online and doing whatever we can to bring the AAA branch experience to a digital place. And a major component of the Travel Center has been our Smart Depart travel series. Our goal here was to bring experts across industries together to talk about safe travel best practices through virtual panel discussions and blog content. This program has been foundational for rebuilding consumer and travel confidence and providing voice of the expert information that members need to make informed travel decisions immediately and in the future. So far, we've held 6 panel discussions with over 2,500 attendees. And furthermore, we've focused on building our Explorations from Home virtual event series, which are product and destination focused member facing webinars, again aimed at providing travelers with an insider look at a destination from the safety of their homes. And as an extension of the Exploration series, we've been compiling and capturing man on the street content from our agents and our members who are out traveling right now. So this is what Cindy had mentioned called out there programming, where again, our goal is rebuilding confidence in our travelers and propping our agents up as trusted resources and guides to re-emerging into travel again. So showing and telling what it's really like out there on the road and experiencing a destination firsthand. We've also been heavily focused on enhancing our travel agents' access to an adoption of social media as a sales tool. We have a program called Post Beyond, which is a platform that allows for on-demand content sharing through our agents' own social channels, but through a moderated media bank where we can provide agency-approved content. This has been a fantastic engagement tool, which has led to leads and sales for our agents, and really has exponential potential to increase reach and readership by utilizing the social media networks of all of our travel agents. And lastly, some of you may be familiar or have heard of our annual AAA Travel Marketplace events, which had previously run for 17 years in the Boston and New York areas and drew upwards of 15,000 people each year. But in 2021, we are shifting, we are innovating, and we are turning away from an in-person event and instead holding a virtual travel marketplace taking place over 2 days early next year. And this event will be better than ever before with virtual booths and live and pre-recorded presentations, virtual chat opportunities to connect with members and help tell your story. And also always have the event supported and back-ended by our travel agents there on demand to help members find their dream vacation. So more to come on that soon, but that's really been a really important avenue to take in terms of digital innovation, is figuring out how to take an in-person experience, which was so engaging and so successful, and turning that into a new digital environment that still has the opportunity for engagement, but also gets to what our members really want to take from an event, which is access to information about a destination and immediate ability to capitalize on great offers and work directly with a travel agent. So those are just some of the new innovations we've been focusing on. We never want to lose sight of the tried and true tactics we've we've built our traveler engagement on like our web presence, emails, social channels, and even our offline tactics. You know, they really create that omni-channel approach, but now we've just been able to tie together a greater, more robust learning and inspiration ecosystem where our well-established transactional tactics can tie into these new educational resources. So I hope that wasn't too much information, but I think that provides a pretty good understanding of what we've been focusing on and what's been taking up a lot of our time over the past 5 months.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chelsea. I mean, I know you've been behind a lot of those efforts, so I don't know where you find the time to sleep, but you know, get it in while you can. But to pull on that thread a little bit more, I know a lot of these efforts, a lot of these leads that come in don't really go anywhere unless we have a well-trained team of agents getting ready to kind of close these leads and make sure that they result in sales. So Chuck, if you could just jump in next. Chelsea had spoken about all these great things that we have going on, and another key part of our adaptation and change throughout the last few months has been with our AAA agents. Market research has shown that in the coming months, travel agents are more important now than ever. They're the ones that provide that messaging that's trusted. They're the ones that have that interaction one-on-one with the travelers to show that these destinations are safe and encourage them to continue to travel and spend money in these destinations. So could you give us some insight into the evolution of how the agency here at AAA Northeast has shifted from an in-person agency in many cases where our branches were all opened to where we closed and brought all the agents to work from home, and how we're starting to see in this recovery all the hard work we've put in pay off?
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. So within days, we were able to get all of our agents set up remotely with all the technology they needed in order to serve our members. Staying connected with our advisors is more important than ever before. And as we mentioned, we're proud to say that we didn't lay off any employees. So unlike many, we've taken this opportunity to fast track some of the projects that we've had working in the background and invest heavily in technology. Our agents are moving over to a brand new booking platform, which gives them an always-on agent page, which they can share with their members. They can email quotes or inspiring content over to our members, and in turn, members can book on their website 24/7, or they can make payments on an existing booking at any time. This new platform makes our agents more efficient and gives members the opportunities to work with us any way they want and anytime they want. Our agents love it because they can make sales while they sleep. In addition, this has removed some of the redundancies and saved our agents an enormous amount of time. And with this newfound time and the remote work environment, they're able to act more like entrepreneurs. They're hungrier than ever before, and they're able to go out after those sales. The use of social through our new platform, Post Beyond, has been a huge win for our agents. They can use this platform to pick through a library of content and post to several of their social channels with just one click. The best part is they can set it and forget it by scheduling posts all week long. Another game changer for us in this new environment is our new appointment system, which links directly to their Outlook calendar, and it allows them to share their link in their social channels so clients can set up appointments on the go. This opens our sales funnel to travelers that don't usually visit us in brick and mortar or may not be able to call us during our normal business hours. Now our agents can meet one-on-one, or if they're working with a large group, they can invite several people into a meeting similar to like we are today. The best part is they're able to share their screen. They're able to give the member the view from the resort or go through a tour itinerary together and really inspire them to close those sales.
Thank you, Chuck. And just to kind of expand on that, to stick with the agents a little bit more, I know that we've spent a lot of time, you know, on training and getting our agents up to speed. This downtime has offered them a lot of time to kind of train, and I don't think a day goes by where I don't talk with the DMO who's interested in working with us on training our agents and taking a little bit of their time. I know it's at a premium now, so if you could just kind of talk about how we here in the Northeast are training our agents in ways that our DMOs might be able to get involved in training in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So training has always been really important to us here at AAA Northeast. And if you didn't know, we were ranked 29th in the Worldwide Training Magazine's top 125. And this is our second year in a row of making the list. Our focus on measuring our success and ROI when it comes to training has helped us with this achievement. Early on in this crisis, we launched our quarantine training, which included our Explorations from Home program and a certification challenge. Our agents completed over 1,000 certifications in less than 30 days. Our agents are super competitive, but they had a ton of fun with this. We've also taken our annual threads, which is where we meet and we bring all of the entire travel team together, whether it's sales, product, partnerships, marketing, training, and our business ops. We all come together to celebrate travel and to develop with each other as one team. This spring, we had to hold the event virtually. And again, we focused on personal and professional development and brought in several key partners to lead sessions to help our agents. The event was so successful that it spun off into what we're calling Threads pop-ups, where we're extending that conversation on a monthly basis. And again, working with key partners to bring them in and get them in front of our agents to help us all towards recovery. We're planning another week-long session in December so that we can springboard into the new year. When it comes to training, the key is cutting through the noise and selecting key partners with meaningful training to really move agent capabilities forward. It's about giving our agents the resources they need to be successful.
Thank you so much, Chuck. And I can't stress enough how much fun our agents have at Threads and all the engagement that they have and how much fun they have. And I know how much they're looking forward to this December Threads, this virtual Threads that we're excited about as well. It's a great way for our agents to learn during some of the slower times in the season to really engage with our partners in a very unique way. Unfortunately, this year it's going to be virtual, although we're still excited about all the engagement. Next year, we're hoping again to bring it in person. But with that being said, I think our partners on the call, Chelsea would all agree that these initiatives are exactly what we need to be doing to move the needle, to make sure that we're stronger coming out of this this recovery. And going back to the point about transparency and trying to be upfront with our members or our partners, I know, just to put myself in our partner's shoes for a minute, I know that one thing that's important to them is measurement and the ROI that comes to my mind. The return on their investment is more important now than ever, to make sure that each dollar has the biggest impact possible with the lowering of budgets and the uncertainty. So Chelsea, could you give us a little bit of insight in regards to how we've changed the way we measure success and what that might mean for our partners and what they might look for in partners potentially that they might look for moving forward?
Great question, Mike. Thanks so much. And this is something I love talking about. I think one of the ways that we've changed regarding measuring success is really in our increased commitment to transparency and data-driven insights. No one has money to burn right now on initiatives that you can't measure. So part of our campaign development process is ensuring we have KPIs identified in each stage of the campaign and within each individual tactic, so we can ladder measurement and success back up into the overall initiative. And part of that is the technologies we have in place enabling us to see behind the scenes. So we are an Adobe supported organization, meaning all of our digital campaigns, our email and our websites are back-ended by Adobe. And that allows us to monitor and track engagement in all of those digital channels in one place in a consistent environment. And from there, we have visibility into the lead to close life cycle at every step of the way, starting in Adobe, going through our CRM system, into our booking platforms, then into our, out through our reporting tool. So having all of these elements in place takes the guesswork out of campaign feedback and success metrics. So part of that commitment to transparency is having these conversations with our partners right at the get-go to level set on campaign expectations and how we as the agency are going to tell the ROI story on the heels of these partner investments. At the end of the day, it actually all goes back to trust. So the same message we want to convey to our travelers is a definitive trait within partnerships, because you need to trust that who you're in business with is committed to delivering on the terms of your partnership and has the means at the end of the day to back it up with data.
Thanks so much, Chelsea. I love that you mentioned trust. I mean, we started with the idea of trust and trusting AAA and us trusting our partners and us working together. And that kind of brings things full circle. So before we kind of wrap it up with our last question for each of our participants, please keep in mind that we do have the ability to ask questions in our Dropbox. So if you click on that navigation bar, you'll see a box with a little question mark in it. I know that I've had a few questions that have come up. I've written one or two down, but if you have any questions on your mind, please feel free to ask those questions in that box. We'd love to hear from you and have you participate as well. So yeah, so as we move on, I know we've in this conversation, we've explored a lot of topics, and as we're winding our time down together, you know, the next natural question is what comes next, right? You mentioned in your talks, Chelsea, you know, that's what we're talking about. What's next? What comes next? So now that we've walked you through how we all should be meeting the new challenges head on, how we should be working together and leaning more on our partners and into our partnerships to build stronger partnerships moving forward, and how we should be thinking critically about what it takes to bring travel back to our destinations. We're hoping that you guys are excited as we are in regards to what's coming next and what's to come. And so Chuck, we'll start with you. It's going to be the same question for all three of our participants. I know we talked a lot about that we're doing here at AAA Northeast and what our partners should be excited for, but in your mind, what should our vendor partners or our destination partners be excited about in the coming weeks, months, and years as we look towards this recovery?
So, you know, I'm going to start with, I'm so lucky to work for such an amazing organization. You know, as we've mentioned, we're financially stable and we're supported by multiple business lines. Although our industry has been impacted, our leaders see the value in travel in our trusted AAA travel advisors. Our leadership team encourages us to think outside the box, be innovative, use creativity, and they give us the resources to do so. I have an amazing team of talented managers and passionate travel advisors who live for travel. We all have a deep love for this industry and understand the importance of travel and tourism on the world. So our agents and management team have been training, building relationships, staying connected, and we're ready to go. You know, during this pandemic, our investment in reporting and analytics has given us more insight than ever before, so that we're focused on making informed decisions. And we want to do that with key partners. Not only did we not lay off any employees, but we've decided that this is the perfect time for AAA to gain more market share by launching our very own independent contractor network called Horizons. Our independent contractor program is competitive. We have such a strong brand, so we're really excited to see where this will take us and to see where we can go. So I'll close that with this. Our leadership team has been getting so much praise from our advisors for all the work that we've been doing behind the scenes, from rolling up our sleeves in order to support them, but also bringing them the tools and the resources they need to be successful. We did all of that while they were working tirelessly to ensure our members see the value in not only booking with an agent, but the importance of booking with a trusted AAA travel advisor.
Thank you so much, Chuck. Great answer. Tough to follow, so I'll throw it to Allison. And Allison, same question. What should our partners be excited for in 2021?
Well, I think Chuck covered most of it. They should be excited in 2020 for 2021. Let's say that.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've spent a lot of time perfecting and progressing with our tools and innovation. Our team has come together. I'm supremely honored to work with such a great team at AAA Northeast, where we are not afraid to live in that test and learn environment. So we continue to use that as kind of our North Star as we innovate, and our partnerships are continuing to evolve as well. And I think that that's one of the best things that our DMO partners can take away from today, is that at AAA Northeast, we're continually evolving our partnerships on the vendor and supplier side to ensure that we're encompassing all of the needs of our traveling members. So by investing with AAA Northeast, a DMO can see whatever their goal is, if it's to elevate adventure travel, if it's to elevate off the beaten path travel or major city travel, we can help them to achieve those goals utilizing our supplier partnerships. We're also looking at rolling up investments. So perhaps it's the combination of some supplier partner investment, some DMO investment, and some lifestyle brand investment to bring about a really large splash campaign opportunity. So we're really excited to move forth in a creative and collaborative way. And one thing that we were a little remiss to mention earlier, here at AAA Northeast, we're not just an agency, but we are also the home of Club Adventures, which is a tour operator run by AAA Exclusive Vacations. So I know that's just a little bit of a tease, but it's something that Mike is very well versed in, and he and Brooke would love to delve into further with you all later. But we do offer adventure travel all over the globe. So AAA Northeast really is so much more than an agency, and that's why everybody should be excited.
Thank you so much, Allison. Chelsea, no pressure. Last but not least, last question comes to you. I know that Chuck and Allison have already talked a lot about what people should be excited for, but in your mind, what do you think our partners should be most excited for in 2020 and moving into 2021?
Thanks, Mike. So, I think what's really exciting is our club's overall capabilities in adaptability. So at the club level and our team level. So we have a huge marketing, product sales and management travel team, and we have 5.8 million potential travelers at our fingertips. And because of our ability to capitalize on creativity, we're able to maximize the potential for engagement and increase penetration within our membership. So, we've stood up major new programs in technologies in the last 5 months, which is a testament to our team's ability to recognize opportunity, move quickly, and continue to optimize based on the changing needs of our travelers. And one thing that I need to mention too, we are deep into the Q1 2021 planning phase right now between product sales marketing teams. We're in the process of allocating tactics and preparing campaigns for the first quarter. And even beyond. So if you're interested in hearing more about campaign opportunities within AAA Northeast, now is the time, and we're really looking forward to creating some meaningful and impactful strategic campaigns for next year.
Thanks so much, Chelsea. I appreciate the insight from all of our colleagues and sharing so much information. I hope you all found this incredibly useful. And to say it has been a challenging year would be an incredible understatement, but we're hopeful and we're optimistic here at AAA Northeast, and the best measure of our success today and through this conversation would be if you left feeling a little bit more hopeful about what's to come and being a little more comfortable with trusting AAA Northeast moving forward. With that being said, we're going to move on to the question and answer. I think we have time for one question. So I have that one question. I'm going to send it along to you, Chelsea. The question that I have is, we have a lot of different partners here on this call today with all different budgets, all different sizes. How is AAA working with different areas or with different size destinations? Not everybody has tens of thousands of dollars to be able to devote to campaigns. How do we work nimbly with different budgets and different things different budgets from different partners?
Yeah, it's a great question, Mike, and one that we get often. And the benefit of our team, the technologies we have in place, is that we have the scalability to accommodate nearly any sized marketing budget. So what we like to do, because of, going back to the element of trust in a partnership, we like to level set right at the beginning of a new relationship. What are your sales goals, our engagement goals? How do we measure along the way? And what can we do to support each and every one of those initiatives, and creating a really comprehensive and omni-channel approach, because we don't want to just take one avenue to try and encourage engagement and bookings and sales. We know that we need to hit our members in a various array of tactics. So we like to always work with our partners to create a customized plan that fits their budget, but also make sure that it's the investment that is at a level that we know we can really move the needle and reach their goals. So that's always kind of step one in the relationship process, is really that level set and that trust and transparency of understanding how this can be a mutually beneficial agreement between the teams.
Awesome. Chelsea, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for joining us today. I hope that you learned something about what it will take to build strong and successful year in 2021. We have learned through these tough times that it takes strong partners to weather the most difficult of storms. And we know that it will take strong partnerships to build us back even stronger. We're excited for those of you on this call to be a part of that recovery, and for us to lean on each other as we take the next steps and make the decisions necessary to recover and grow even stronger. We at AAA Northeast have spent these past few months preparing. As we look towards 2021, we know that you need to choose partners that balance you off, those that have the strengths that complement your weaknesses, that can be your trusted message, those that are trusted in the market, us having one of the most trusted brands in the industry, those that can help you to innovate, the innovations we have that can help you to be innovative as well. And we realize that accelerated growth is the most important, and you need to choose partners that accelerate your growth. We're eager to be a part of that growth together. As a reminder, we'll be following up this recording this presentation with a recording as well as the deck that I had mentioned, and looking at times when we can work together on our individual discussions. We know that planning for next year will be different, but we also know that planning for success starts right now. If you need or have any additional questions that we weren't able to get to today, please feel free to email them. All my contact information is there on the slide, and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, thank you so much again for taking part in this great discussion. And to each of our panelists, thank you so much for your time. I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but so much of what we do here at AAA Northeast wouldn't be possible without the trust and the support of our partners. And this year has most certainly been a reminder of how much stronger we are when we all come together. Thank you all so much. Thank you to everyone who participated. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to talking with you all again soon.